Friends, we have entered what can best be called the quickening as the New World Order's house of cards collapses. Some of the most dramatic events in our lifetimes are taking place right now. There is a war on for your heart and mind, and it's a war the New World Order puppets, Clinton, Soros, Merkel, Macron, and their associated deep state networks are now losing badly. This important update is brought to you in part by our friends at Rugged Reserves. Their Patriot flashlight is a must-have. Just think about it. When you pack your bug-out bag, you want everything from a glass-breaking hammer to a cell phone charger to a flashlight to a wire cutter and a compass. Well, you can get all of that and more with the Patriot flashlight. Light up the darkness with 500 lumens that can be seen miles away. And there's an emergency strobe with 4 unique lighting modes. And now the Patriot flashlight even has an emergency siren. And you know what the best part is? It's solar powered. So this bad boy will always have power when you need it most. It really does make the perfect Christmas gift. Get one for your bug-out bag, for your car, for your wife's car, for your home. Just visit patriotflashlight.com. I'll leave the link below this video. And while supplies last, use promo code SGT25 to save 25% off your purchase. That's patriotflashlight.com. The link is below this video. Before we get to all of the incredible news from the world of Q and President Trump versus the deep state, this amazing news coming from the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry. On November 26th, a United States attorney agreed to comply with the federal law requiring submission to a special grand jury of a report by the Lawyers Committee and 9/11 victim family members of yet-to-be-prosecuted 9/11 federal crimes relating to the destruction of 3 World Trade Center towers on 9/11, World Trade Center 1, World Trade Center 2, and World Trade Center Building 7. This is an historic development. Citizen activist and Lawyers Committee board member Barbara Honegger explained in this December 1st interview with World Alternative Media.
The Lawyers Committee announced that on November 7th, the Lawyers Committee received an official letter from the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, that's the federal courthouse in Manhattan that has the jurisdiction for the World Trade Center events on 9/11, and we received a letter saying, to our shock and pleasant surprise, that the U.S. Attorney would be doing as we demanded, which is to follow the law. And he cited the federal statute that they're going to follow, and that federal statute explicitly in its text requires them, and they said they would do it, to submit our grand jury petition and the 57 evidentiary exhibits proving that the official story of what brought down World Trade Centers 1, 2, and 7 on 9/11, the latter not hit by any plane whatsoever and came down in a classic controlled demolition, will be submitted to a specially convened special criminal grand jury. This is historic.
And attorney Mick Harrison, litigation director, said, "The failure of our government to diligently investigate this disturbing evidence has contributed to the erosion of trust in our institutions. The Lawyers Committee felt it was our duty as public citizens to submit this evidence to the U.S. Attorney for submission to the special grand jury." We'll keep our eye closely on that developing story. Friends, with the American godfathers of the New World Order, David Rockefeller and George H.W. Bush, now paying the price for their crimes against humanity in the afterlife, those of us still breathing are witnessing epic events around the world as the Great Awakening goes global. Q Post 2526, December 2nd. Q links to this tweet from A Simple Mind, and Q writes, "A world united is a beautiful thing. People are inherently good. We stand together." And Q Post 2533 linking to this powerful scene in Paris where French police officers removed their helmets to show solidarity with the French people against New World Order globalist Rothschild puppet and President Emmanuel Macron, as anti-Macron protests continue throughout France. And Q writes, "Nothing can stop what is coming. Nothing." History books. And I was pleased to see this tweet, which hits the nail on the head. Don't be fooled. They're protesting over immigration and globalism, not gas prices. And friends, I dropped everything to provide this important news update because it is historic. The awakening is global, and nothing puts the fear of God in the dark hearts of our New World Order enemies quite like the vision of the police and the people coming together, unified in the realization that the real enemies of humanity are seated in the highest echelons of power. The rise of the people is what these puppets fear most. QPost 2534. Ask yourself a very simple question. Why is there a total and complete MSM blackout regarding France, Belgium, Germany, the EU riots? When you are awake, you can see clearly. Fake news is the enemy of the people. And QPost 2536 links to this black nationalist singing that he's proud to be an American in a Chick-fil-A to the applause of the restaurant's patrons. There is no shame in loving your country and its Constitution, patriots. And Q notes, be proud. The world is about to change. Which brings us to QPost 2523 and a callback to September 30th, Red October, D-Class, and the question of treason. A topic our president tweeted about on September 5th, and more recently when he retweeted this meme asking when the trials for treason would begin. Which leads to this update from Q, linking to this March 28th news item about the president's $200 million expansion of the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay. And in related news, on December 3rd, out of Wheeling, West Virginia, the Wheeling News Register is reporting that more than 100 members of the 305th Military Police Company of Wheeling were deployed to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba on Saturday. Their 400-day deployment is in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. And Q links to this juicy news item from McClatchy. Pentagon delivers new guidelines on transferring detainees to Guantanamo. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis has given the White House its new policy guidance on transferring detainees to the U.S. Navy base at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, a critical report intended to outline whether the Pentagon backs promises President Donald Trump made on the campaign trail to fill the prison with, quote, bad dudes. This policy provides our warfighters guidance on nominating detainees for transfer to Guantanamo detention should that person present a continuing, significant threat to the security of the United States. Pentagon spokeswoman Commander Sarah Higgins said the full report was not made public. And QPost 2538 links to this must-read article from the Epoch Times. 4 investigations share a common thread. There may well be more than meets the eye regarding the raid of the home of Clinton Foundation whistleblower Dennis Nathan Cain. Be sure to read the article. I'll link it below. Q writes, DOJ policy does not discuss ongoing investigations. On November 29th, federal agents raided the offices of Chicago's 14th Ward Alderman Ed Burke, removing computer equipment and boxes of documents. Burke held that position in Chicago's corrupt political machine for 50 years. And Burke, who has been under federal scrutiny on several occasions, has never been convicted or indicted. His investigation is being handled by the Public Corruption Squad from the local FBI office, according to the Epoch Times. Dan Mihalopoulos, a reporter for WBEZ in Chicago, is quoted as saying, worth also noting is Burke's huge role in local Democratic judge-making process. One judge told me, everyone's crapping themselves here. And the Epoch Times goes on to note 2 other events with a more international scope also have been underway. As we've been reporting, Deutsche Bank is being investigated by the U.S. Department of Justice, and new charges were filed this week by Danish authorities. The bank's CEO and chairman both have been forced to resign, and numerous current employees are under investigation. This article, 4 investigations share a common thread, written by Jeff Carlson at the Epoch Times, wraps up with the 4th investigation in the thread. In a November 29th DOJ press release, 3 executives, including Abul Huda Faruqi, were charged for their roles in a scheme to defraud U.S. military contracts in Afghanistan, engaging in illegal commerce in Iran, and laundering money internationally. Faruqi was the CEO of Anham, a defense contractor based in United Arab Emirates, and it wasn't the first time Faruqi or his company have been involved in allegations of misconduct. In a 2013 article by the Daily Caller headlined, Clinton Donors Get a Pass on Shady Contracting, Faruqi and his company were highlighted. And the article asked a simple question. Given prior violations, How was Anham able to secure an $8 billion contract in Afghanistan that allowed it to illegally ship supplies through 2 Iranian border crossings and a seaport controlled by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard? The $8 billion contract, along with the illegal shipment of supplies being cited in the 2013 article, appear to be exactly the same violations being alleged in the 2018 DOJ indictment. So why wasn't Faruqi and his company charged with these same known violations back in 2013? Friends, it may be because Barack Obama was sitting in the White House. But this article says the answer may lie within Faruqi's many connections to the Democratic Party. The Daily Caller notes that Faruqi is a longtime donor to Senator Dianne Feinstein and donated to Obama for America in 2008. But Faruqi's closest ties lie with the Clintons and their foundation. Faruqi, a member of the now shuttered Clinton Global Initiative, participated in annual CGI meetings since the group's formation in 2005 through at least 2010 and made multiple donations to the Clinton Foundation. Faruqi also made donations to Terry McAuliffe and has been photographed with Huma Abedin. The author here, Jeff Carlson, concludes, there appears to be a common thread among what might appear to be unrelated events: the raid on the whistleblower, the raid on the Chicago politician, Burke, the investigations of European banks, and the charges brought against a Clinton donor. All the activities targeted were either occurring during the Obama era or, in the case of the DOJ whistleblower, were directly related to underlying events from that time. There may be more going on than meets the casual eye. Our thanks to Jeff Carlson and the Epoch Times, and our thanks to Q for making us aware of that article and those important facts. Like Post 2539, the public is about to learn that the DOJ, FBI, and other U.S. foreign assets have been actively working together behind the scenes in one of the largest criminal investigations in modern-day history, D-Class. The purpose? To illuminate the truth. People, transparency is the only way forward, and the controlled media is indeed the enemy of the people. And Q notes with Post 2538, which linked to that Epoch Times article, DOJ policy does not discuss ongoing investigations. Majority of leaks by them serve to their benefit. Some do not. Some are designed to provide the public with a glimpse into the shadows. Glimpse equals leverage. Leverage results in panic. Panic by the rats. Dark to light. And friends, we'll conclude this dramatic series of events update with this tweet from Michael Flynn Jr. on December 3rd. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Thanks for tuning in, friends. The Great Awakening has indeed gone global, and where we go one, we go all. Dark to light. And for real news 24/7, visit us at sgtreport.com.
You're going to see arrests, and then you're going to see indictments, and then you're going to see convictions. They are scared to death.